Hey, Markie here with an annoying cough. I apologise in advance. It's annoying. It's annoying me as well, so it's going to annoy the hell out of you. But I'm in a great location. The lighting just happens to be really good. I've got some free time, and I like vlogging, and I haven't done any videos for ages, and I've missed it. So to hell with it. I'm going to record a video now. And I've got the phone the wrong way around, but this is what I do because I shoot videos on my iPhone, and it's actually quite hard to hold an iPhone the other way around. I try to get fingers on the screen, it's more wobbly. People give me feedback about, well, Markie, you've got the phone the wrong way around. So that's why I've got the phone the wrong way around. But thank you for the feedback anyway. So this is a video on retroactive jealousy. Not all my videos are on retroactive jealousy on the YouTube channel. It's a mix of retroactive jealousy and other things. You should find a playlist on there. So if you're just interested in the retroactive jealousy, you can go to that playlist and look through there, and then you haven't got to kind of subject yourself to all the other weird and wonderful subjects that I talk about. And likewise, if you're not into retroactive jealousy and you're watching this, obviously you want to stop. But there's a playlist for things which are non-RJ, and I've broken some things down into other playlists and stuff like that. So hopefully you can get to what you want to get to. So this is about retroactive jealousy, and this is I've just been to. I'm fresh out of a conference. There's my thing. ANZATSA, Australia and New Zealand Association for the Treatment of Sexual Abuse. Okay, because a lot of my work, as well as retroactive jealousy, a lot of my work is around lots of things to do with sex. I work with actually. Sex and gender, not exclusively, but that's a lot of what I work with. So I do work with people who, children and adults who are having problems with their sexual behaviour. So I have been to the conference, which is really good. Some highs, some lows. I've talked about that in another video. And one of the workshops was about sexuality for children, or in children. Are children sexual beings, or are they not? That kind of talking about all that kind of thing, which we won't get into. Fascinating subject. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. But one of the things that we talked about a lot in that, and it was mainly discussion based. This particular workshop was, did your parents give you the talk? The birds and the bees, and if they did, what did they say? Okay, and this got me thinking, particularly about RJ. Now, there were quite a few parents in the room that said they'd made a real balls up of the talk, or that they'd avoided it. And one of the things that's talked about was how much euphemism, and how sometimes parents are deliberately vague because they're anxious. So what we're told about sex, as children from our parents, is often pretty poor and pretty kind of misleading in some cases. And then I've done other videos about what the other kind of end of the spectrum, where people learn about sex through pornography, which is even bigger nightmare. So basically, we don't learn about sex very well. But one of the things that often goes with the talk. So what I want you to do is, if you can, just have a think about if you can remember, what your parents told you about sex. Okay, and maybe pause the video and write that down. Spend a few moments talking about it, thinking about it, and write it down. Okay. So pause the video for a bit while you do that, and then come back. Welcome back. One of the things that they probably did not include in their talk about sex was pleasure. Okay, what they probably talked about was procreation, and what they probably talked about was love. It was probably heteronormative, so it was probably when you find a man that you love, or when you find a woman that you love, one of the things that you might do is blah blah blah. Very seldom do parents say to their kids, this sex thing is great. People do it because it's fantastic. It feels really good. It's really enjoyable. Son, or my girl, this is this is probably one of the most enjoyable things that you'll come to experience in life. Take it from me. Okay, never mentioned. Okay, and yet your body kicks in and gives you different messages about sex. So your parents give you messages about sex, the media give you different messages about sex, your friends give you different messages about sex, and your body gives you a message about sex. So when people kind of hit puberty and their body becomes sexually awakened, and various different ways they discover that sexual arousal and sexual sensation is cause of pleasure. But just think about how that affects RJ, okay? Because we're told all this stuff, like it's about giving birth, the sanctity of what's the most amazing thing that we can do in our life, many people would say is have children, to procreate. It's kind of a remarkable, amazing thing, not to be taken lightly by any means or for any reason. Creating life is huge, both obviously for the life that we create and for ourselves. And for all the people around us. So, that's a kind of a big thing. And then we got love, when you meet somebody that you love, lots of people, even through many, many years, they still kind of don't know what love is. Love can be quite abstract for a lot of people. So, and I certainly picked up this message. I'm not necessarily sure where I got it from, but, sex was very much about something that you did when you found somebody that you loved. Not somebody that you fancied, or not, you were feeling a bit horny, or not just because it's really, really nice, okay? And then our body starts to tell us how nice it is, and maybe our friends do, and maybe circumstances kind of lead us in that direction. But the messages that we get, are all love, children, really important, big stuff. So, wouldn't it be better? We can't turn the clock back, can we? And our warped little retroactive jealousy brains. But wouldn't it have been better? And maybe we should do this to ourselves as a therapeutic exercise. Is write down, at what age you would do this, and what you would tell yourself, your younger self, about sex. Okay, and just have a serious think about, whether you're going to include pleasure in there. What's sex, daddy? What's sex, mummy? Why do people have sex? Babies. When you meet this, one person that you love in this kind of Disney-esque kind of true love, romantic, the one type relationship. What about? People do it because it's pleasurable. People do it because it's great. If we'd been told that, maybe I don't know, our whole lives would have worked out differently. Maybe we wouldn't have RJ. Maybe we would. Maybe it would RJ in a different form. Maybe we would have OCD in a different form, but not RJ. Who knows? But I think this is somewhere in the mix. This is the thing about retroactive jealousy. I think I always want to call it complex OCD, because there are so many factors in it. It's this what I like to call biopsychosocial, which I've talked about in other areas. So that is all I'm going to say for now on the subject of the birds and the bees, the talk and retroactive jealousy. I hope you found that interesting. I would love to hear what you think about this, and please put a comment down below. Whether it's on Patreon or whether it's on YouTube, wherever you happen to be watching this. If you want me to produce more videos, then please consider being a Patreon for the price of a cup of tea a day. Cup of tea a month. You can help me out and help improve the channel and help me be able to afford to allocate more time just to making videos. So on that note, I will say farewell and Rangimarie. Farewell and Rangimarie.